Should you be buying, selling, or holding Dante DiVincenzo, Kevin Garnett, Shay Hill, Alexander, and Lamar Jackson? Let's find out. What's going on, guys? Matt here, back again with another video. Third episode of my buy, sell, or hold series where you guys send me cards on Instagram and I'll tell you guys whether I would buy, sell, or hold the card. As always, I try to research the card as much as I can and give my best opinion on it. Let's head straight into it. The first card that we're going to be discussing today is Dante DiVincenzo's Optic Rookie card. So Dante was traded very briefly in the preseason before the deal fell through, and he has since gone from the sixth man to the full-time starter for the Milwaukee Bucks. In logging career high minutes, he's also averaged career highs in points and three-point efficiency. He's a very good role player, and his team shows a net positive offensively and defensively when he's on the court. His teammate Giannis Antetokounmpo even called him the heart of this team. He had a reduced role in last year's playoffs, but I'm still anticipating him to be the most important player after Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. I think the Bucks have been sneakily good. They're only 1.5 games away from the top-seeded 76ers, and if they land a top seed, they should be expected to go far into the playoffs. As we saw in the playoffs, one good moment or game is enough to send the players' cards up. I think Dante's Optic card at $3 US is a buy, as he is capable of providing that moment. I actually preferred a numbered or parallel card like a holo, as he's cheap enough to buy at that price. Don't forget, Dante in college actually won the NCAA most outstanding player of the Final Four after scoring 31 points off the bench in a championship game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has to play in a key moment in the playoffs for the Bucks. The second card that we're going to be speaking about today is Kevin Garnett's Topps rookie card. If you follow me on Instagram, you'd know over the past couple of months I've been quite upfront in saying that you should avoid buying the vintage hype. Not knocking vintage at all, but if you get caught buying the hype, that's where you guys lose the most money. You want to be buying what you think is the next trend, and I think in a couple of months when everything's all focused on modern, that's the time to buy vintage. In saying so, Kevin Garnett over the past 30 days is down 21%, but if you also look at the biggest losers over the past 30 days, it includes Hall of Famers like Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, and Karl Malone. He's a former MVP and NBA champion who still features regularly in the media, so he's spoken about more than the average NBA player that's retired. If we look at his PSA 9 and PSA 10 Topps rookies, we can see it had a very sudden spike, almost tripling in the matter of one day. This is quite unnatural, especially for someone who isn't playing, so I'm a little bit turned off by that. Since then, it has slowly dropped along with vintage, and I gather it will drop more as the focus gets put on modern more towards the playoffs. I had this card as a sell, but I wouldn't be opposed if you bought raw and graded, provided that you knew the condition was really good. He's still a borderline blue chip player, but people like to collect players that they can watch and track, so I don't think he's going to go up in the next period. Moving on to the next card, and it's a player that's been ruled out for several weeks with an injury, and that's Shay Hill, Alexander's Prism card. Massive fan of SGA. I mentioned him as a pick in my undervalued players video. He's gone from being the understudy of Chris Paul to being the solo star of the OKC Thunder, and that's all with great efficiency as well. He's shooting over 50% from the field and over 40% from the three-point line. Not bad for a player who's primarily known as being a slasher. Looking at OKC's future, they have 34 draft picks over the next 7 years, and actually own Houston's first-round pick, which is top 4 protected thanks to the CP3 Westbrook trade. If Houston stay where they are, they have a 52% chance of keeping the pick if it lands in the top 4 range, whilst OKC have a 48% chance to take it if the lottery falls outside of that range. As a Houston fan, it's obvious Houston are tanking, and to think even after a tanking season, they only have a coin flip chance to keep their pick, it's actually quite depressing. I still think SGA is a strong buy, even though he's out for an extended period. My feeling is that OKC will start to tank thanks to this injury, and his prices will drop, but I'm a firm believer in SGA long term, so maybe wait another 2 weeks and then go hard for his cards. Lastly, let's speak about Lamar Jackson's Select Rookie card. Lamar is the former MVP and current quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. He's one of the most exciting and entertaining players in the game with his running ability. Typically, running quarterbacks are expected to have more injuries, but if you actually watch Lamar, he tries to avoid contact and slides when possible. The issue with the Ravens is Lamar's passing game, but he's developed that over the years. But Baltimore also have a lack of wide receivers, which isn't entirely Lamar's fault. After Lamar's down year last season, I think he'll be out for redemption this season. The person who sent me this card actually didn't specify which level, but I do think all 3 levels are a buy. That's because as a whole, I do believe Select in the NFL is undervalued. When you compare Luka and Lamar's Prism and Select graphs for a PSA 10, we can see Lamar's Prism is the highest with the Selects trailing behind, but looking at Luka's, his courtside or field comparison is miles ahead, whilst the Prism is stuck with the other 2 Select levels. So in my opinion, either of the 3 levels are buys for me, but I prefer the field just because it's a bit more short printed. Those are my 4 buy, sell, or holds for today, guys. Let me know down below if you guys agree or not with them. Be on the lookout on my Instagram at Matt's Card Shop, as I post a submission for these as often as I can. As always, guys, I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. Give us a like and hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.